All right, we're going to get going. My name is Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And again, I'm really happy to welcome you to this quick tour of the School of Professional Advancement and our graduate programs. I'm joined by my colleague, Sheila Gold, who oversees admissions for the school, and Ann Conlon, who's behind the scenes moving the slides. First, I would like to ask if you're able, well, actually two things. One is it's always great to see people on video. If you are able to turn your video on, that's just a nice thing, but we understand if you aren't in a place where you can do that. And second, if you could put your name, where you're calling in from, and the program that you're interested in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. That's also really helpful so we can get a sense of who's here and what you're interested in. I said this is a quick tour of the School of Professional Advancement, or SoPA as we call it. And it is, we don't go into detail about our individual graduate program areas. We have other sessions online in which to do that. But again, it's always nice to know what people are interested in. So the School of Professional Advancement, or SoPA as we call it, is one of 10 schools at Tulane University. Tulane was founded in 1834. And our school was actually the third school to be created at the university. So there's a very long history at Tulane of educating working adults, which is mostly what we do, and offering high quality academic programs that are relevant to the workplace. So that is what SoPA is about. And again, we have a great legacy and a long history of this work. So the next slide just gives you a few images. We work hard to create a community for our students who are mostly taking classes online with a few exceptions, and to ground the educational experience that you're having in the city of New Orleans. So you can see the building, Richardson Hall, where we are headquartered. That's where I'm sitting right now. Some New Orleans images and a student created mural inside our offices. So we are based on the Uptown campus of Tulane University. And in the next slide, you can see an example of what our diploma looks like. So as we say, Tulane programs, Tulane faculty, and Tulane degrees. So the next slide shows, these are the things that we're going to cover in this session. You should feel free to put questions into the chat box as we're going through the session, but we'll also take a minute at the end to see if there are any additional questions. We will either answer them on the spot between Sheila and myself, or we will follow up with you individually. I'll go through programs. I'll talk a little bit about faculty, talk about the experience of what it's like to be a student at SoPA, how we support our students, both academically and in terms of career development, and then important things like admissions deadlines and tuition rates and all of that. So we always want to start with our faculty. SoPA has a mix of full-time faculty, most of whom have experience in industry, some of whom have had long academic careers, all of whom are very much focused on relevance to the workplace, relevance to your lives, meeting students where they're at, and making sure that the curriculum is really up to date. And those full-time faculty, two of whom are on the right side of your screen, are joined by part-time faculty who are people who are currently working in industry, who do this as like an extra thing as part of their careers because they like to support students, they like to prepare the next generation of leaders, and they want to share their professional networks and most of all their knowledge. So Ashley Hand and Derek Bose, who teach in public administration and emergency and security studies, respectively, are two of our wonderful adjunct faculty, Tyra Mitchell and Ralph Russo. Both, again, came from industry. Tyra teaches in our kinesiology programs, and Ralph leads our information technology and cybersecurity programs. And then on the next slide, just a testimonial from Amanda Fennell, also an adjunct faculty member who teaches cybersecurity while also playing an important role in industry at the same time. So those are our faculty. We have two structures for teaching at the graduate level at our school: the master's degree and the certificate program. I'll talk a little bit about those both, but just want to start by saying that the admissions standards and the admissions process for the certificates and the degrees is the same. That if you are in a master's degree and you complete the requirements for a certificate, you earn the certificate as well. And if you are in a certificate program and you decide you want to move on for the full master's degree, it's a completely seamless process to take the credits you've already earned and apply them toward the master's degree, so that you're well on your way to earning the full degree. So the master's degrees are in a wide range of applied areas: the Master of Science, the Master of Professional Studies, the Master of Public Administration, 2 degrees in education, a Master of Arts in Teaching and a Master's of Education. And then, of course, the Master of Liberal Arts, which is a really special program that is focused on the arts and the humanities and social sciences, where also focused on working adults and structured intentionally to support working adults, but gives you access to some of the most amazing humanities and social sciences faculty across Tulane University, who teach in their home schools and their home departments, but also like to teach our adult students at SoPA. And again, you can learn more about these programs in sessions offered separate from this open house. So I said the next slide shows sort of what I said a minute ago. We use the term stackable, excuse me, to describe our certificate programs. What that means is that with one exception, every single one of our certificate programs is 4 courses. Those 4 courses are part of the certificate program, but also count toward a master's degree, which means they stack into the master's degree. On the next page, you can see the full list of our certificate programs. And having said that they're all 4 courses, I would just point out the one exception, which is our certificate program in cyber technology fundamentals, which is 6 courses and is really geared toward people who are looking to transition to or advance in careers in information technology or cybersecurity and don't have either a professional or an academic background in IT or computer science. So that's our certificate programs. I'll talk a little bit now about what it's like to be a student at SoPA. with a very few exceptions, most of the instruction is taking place online. In a typical course, you are doing the majority of the work on your own time, while also having interactive opportunities every week with your classmates, whether through discussion boards or group projects. Sometimes students form study groups. But again, there's tremendous flexibility. You're also having what we call synchronous sessions, which is like what we're doing right now, where everyone is on at the same time, typically once a month, sometimes every 3 weeks. And those sessions are for guest lectures, student presentations, opportunities to discuss course materials all together at the same time. And those are a really important part of our model. Our classes are small. They tend to be between 10 and 20 students each. So you have a lot of opportunity to get to know your peers. I've had students who were, meeting 4 times a semester online, but then also having a study group every Saturday afternoon, so that they could support themselves and one another through the work on the materials and the assignments. You get to know your classmates, and it's a really nice thing. And it's valuable for your own ability to get through the program successfully. It's valuable for your long-term professional network. And they're great people. They're just as interesting and motivating as your faculty. And so they're people you want to be around and who you want to get to know. One other thing I would say about online instruction is that it requires that you be highly motivated as a student, because you have to keep up with the work, which is one of the reasons why it's a really great fit for SoPA students who tend to be a little bit older than students who come into the classroom, who tend to be really clear about why they are going back to school. Often going back to school at a time when they have a lot of other commitments. So it's a good environment for people who are motivated and clear about why they're in school. But it's also a really good environment for people with all different kinds of learning styles. As you can see on the next slide, there are various ways in which we are communicating the course material. You'll have live lectures right during the synchronous sessions, but you'll also have podcasts. You'll have videos. Depending on your area of study, you might have journal articles or magazine or even newspaper articles. And in some cases, you'll even have simulations or various kinds of interactive structures. Like, for example, in our information technology program, we use a fake company that we set up that is a theme for carrying out all the work of the lead IT or cybersecurity professional in a firm. And so this is a way that you can absorb information in various kinds of structures. Again, intimate classes, highly interactive, flexible, so that you can fit it into your busy schedules. And it all adds up to a really high quality, excellent learning experience. I'm going to talk for a minute next about the ways in which we support students. So we do this academically, and we do it in terms of career development. So first, academically, every single student has a dedicated academic advisor who is highly experienced, who is used to working with students who are dealing with probably multiple obligations and trying to balance school and the rest of their lives, and who can give you great advice about how many classes to take at a time, which classes to take when. You know, we generally recommend that our graduate students take 2 courses at a time. Sometimes people take 1, but we also have folks who have more time in their schedules or want to go faster who take 3. Once in a very long while, someone will take 4, but it's very hard to do that at the graduate level because the courses are a lot of work. And if something comes up, which it does, right? This is the world we live in, whether it's a climate event or illness or a change in job or the needs of a family member, your advisor is going to work with you to figure out how to stay on track toward your academic goals, as will your faculty. So we always say that we don't compromise on the quality of what we offer and on the expectations that we have of our graduate students, but we are also tremendously flexible, and we want you to be successful. And so we will figure out with you how to create an environment in which you can do your best possible academic work. It's also just as important that that you're able to meet your career goals. And so between our faculty and their own professional networks and our amazing career advisor, you will have multiple opportunities to get to know people in your field, to find out about internships and job opportunities. If you're in the Gulf South region, our career advisor will go with you to networking events. If you're in the Gulf South or not, she will help you prepare for an interview. She will help you upgrade your LinkedIn profile so that it showcases you in the best possible way. Again, all part of student support and success, and helping you to achieve your academic and career goals. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about one more way in which we support your academic and career development. And that is through what's called credit for prior learning, which basically means that there's a range of ways in which you can earn credit toward the master's degree for previous work experience, training, volunteering, programs that you've completed with organizations that are formal partners with SoPA, such as, for example, the National League of Cities for Public Administration, or the Homeland Security Institute and the National Guard for Emergency and Security Studies. It's also the case that even if you don't come through one of those formal partnerships, there is a way for you to match your experience to specific coursework in the master's degree through what's called portfolio development and assessment. So our faculty will work with you to match your experience to the learning outcomes of a specific course, to create a portfolio that describes your experience, which will then be submitted to the program faculty, who will give you a grade, and you'll be able to earn up to 6 credits or 2 courses toward the master's degree, which is a savings of time and money, but also means that you don't have to do the coursework that is focused on things that you already know, which is, I think, a great benefit for someone who's coming in with significant experience. And with that, I will turn things over to my colleague, Sheila Gold.
Thank you, Suri. And let me just welcome everybody again to the webinar. We're always appreciative that you take time out of the middle of your day. We know everybody's busy, and hopefully we're sharing our excitement about our school because we love it and we can talk about it all day. So a little bit about the affordability. We know that going back to school is a commitment and an investment. So there are several ways that we try to help support that load, and I'm excited to share that with you. So So all of our classes are 3-credit classes, and they are priced at $1,210 per credit hour. That is true for all of our classes, except for our Masters of Art in Teaching, which has a different price, which is $623 per credit hour. With that said, we know that lots of students need support paying for their education. And so we always advise students to fill out the FAFSA form. That is the federal form for financial aid. And this form can take a few steps to fill out. It is not a quick and easy process. So our pro tip to everybody is start filling that out early. Fill that out when you start your application to SoPA. Don't wait until after you've been admitted, because it can slow down the process if you haven't gotten a jump on that. In addition, there are other forms of financial aid that we offer to students. If you are transferring credits into the school, you are considered a transfer student, and we will give you a $1,500 transfer student scholarship. We do offer, and I will talk about this in a couple more slides, we do offer an early enrollment incentive scholarship, which means that if you register for classes by a certain date, you will receive $500 off your first semester of tuition. And then for those of you who are interested in our Masters of Art in Teaching program and you're teaching in Orleans Parish, you will be eligible potentially for the SEED scholarship. You can learn much more about that if you attend our teaching preparation webinar, but we can also answer questions about that offline. There are also certain groups of folks who, well, we hope many of you will fall into these categories, who are eligible for 20% tuition discounts. If you are an active duty military or veteran, we offer a 20% tuition discount. Or if you are a PTK member, which is the Honor Society for 2-year colleges, we offer a 20% tuition discount. If you are a K through 12 teacher, if you are an Orleans public employee, if you work for the city of New Orleans, if you are over 60 years old, if you have a previous Tulane degree, if you're an alum of our institution, or if you're an alum of a minority serving institution or HBCU, or if you are active or retired safety personnel, firefighter, policeman, EMT. Hopefully, many of you will fall into those categories, and we can offer you some tuition support that way as well. A little bit about our application process. Our application is an electronic application. It lives on our website. sopa.tulane.edu is our website. That address is on the screen in front of you. There's a big button at the top that says apply. You go ahead and you click that, and you will be asked whether you're applying to undergraduate or graduate. You all will pick the graduate application. And that will take you to our online application. There are several elements of the application that you will need to complete. The first one is we will need a copy of a valid government ID. For most people, that just means taking your phone and simply taking a picture of your driver's license or passport and uploading that image to the application. We will need transcripts from any institution where you have received college credits. Those transcripts can be sent to us 2 ways, either by US Postal Service or electronically. Most universities give you the option to send your transcripts electronically. We prefer that method primarily because it's quicker to receive electronic applications and it reduces the opportunity for transcripts to get lost in the mail. However, not all institutions offer this option, and if you need to send them by US Postal Service, we are happy to receive them that way as well. For graduate applications, you will most likely be required to submit a writing sample or a couple writing samples and your resume. The good news is we do not require standardized tests, so there is no GRE required for any of our graduate programs. Additionally, we require a $50 application fee. However, as a thank you for taking time out of your day to attend this webinar, that fee will automatically be waived. For those of you who have already applied and paid that application fee, please just email me and I can easily refund that fee. So don't be shy about that. I'm happy to do it, and we're happy to refund that. So just send me an email. Some deadlines that are important for you to know. We are currently receiving applications for the spring term. That is the January term. Our application deadline is January 1st. However, you do not need to wait until the deadline. If you get your application in now, we will review it. We will send you an application decision. And if you register for classes by December 1st, which I know is soon, but you still have time, you will receive the $500 early registration scholarship off your first semester. So that's an easy way just to save a little money, and then we can help support the transition into your graduate program and make it a little bit easier financially. The next term is our summer term. That's a May 1 deadline. But once again, don't need to wait for the deadline. You can apply now. And if you register for classes by April 25th, you'll receive the $500 scholarship. And then if you're a planner all the way to next fall, that application deadline is August 1. But if you go ahead and apply now, get admitted, and register by June 1, you'll receive the early registration scholarship. So hopefully we will see all of your applications coming in soon if we don't have those in our system already. My email is on the screen in front of you, sgold@tulane.edu. If you have any questions about the application process, please do not be shy. I love to hear from students. One of the differentiators we feel between SoPA and other universities is that we create relationships with our students, and we feel like those relationships get started in the application process. So we love to get to know you and hear from you. There is a phone number. I am much more likely to be reached by email. So just go ahead and focus on that email address. And I hope to hear from many of you all soon.
Great. And thanks for putting questions into the chat box. We'll follow up individually with those of you who had questions that we weren't able to answer during this session. And I'll just join Sheila in thanking you again for taking time out of your schedules to be in this session with us, and saying that we are excited to see your application for admission and to get to know you during this process, and hopefully to welcome you as new students at SoPA very soon. Thanks so much. And we have some follow-up work to do, and you will, like we said, you'll be hearing from us as well, including with an email that'll come from Sheila in the next day. Thanks again for your time, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Bye.